What's up, guys? This is Kevin here from Happy Beard Games, and today is the Goonies movie 30th anniversary special. Now, not only a special for, my video that I'm making today, but it's an actual event in the hometown of Astoria, Oregon, where the Goonies was filmed. Now, today I went to the Goonies convention, which lasts for 3 or 4 days this week. It's actually a really big deal in this town, not just on Goonies Week, but throughout all. So ever since the movie's been made, 30 years, it's always been like a cult classic, not just around the world and as a movie, but also in the hometown of Astoria, Oregon, where it was filmed once again. Now, this convention was in a pretty small area. The building was less than a quarter size of the convention that I went to in Portland, which was the Wizard World Comic Con. This one was pretty similar. It was just a lot smaller, but at the same time, the rest of the town, the downtown area, had almost every store or every other store was doing something for Goonies Day, and there was a lot of people walking around. There was about an estimated 1,000 to 1,500 people walking around in the town. That's a lot of extra people in a small town like Astoria. Yeah. And I went there, and it was crazy, and not only did I go there, and it was a lot of fun, but there's a special thing for me too, so I'll explain that in a few moments. But here is the official con guidebook for the 30th anniversary. It's June 4th through the 7th, which I believe the 7th, which is today, but I went there yesterday, is the actual 30th anniversary of when the film was first put in theaters back in 1985. Which is actually before I was born by 5 years, so it's kind of weird that I'm into this that much, but at the same time, it's once again a cult classic. It's a good movie, and it's a good video game that I'm going to be playing here for you in a few moments, which is the sequel to an unproduced, unmade second movie of the Goonies. Now, in addition, just real quick, at the con, it was pretty cool. It actually had some very similar things there, some similar booths to the Wizard World Comic Con that was in Portland back in November, I think, that I went to. There was even some of the exact same booths. What the cool thing was it not only was it a lot closer for me to drive to, but it was free to get in. So that was pretty cool. The only thing I had to pay for was things that I bought at the con, which one of the things that I bought is this really cool poster that you'll be seeing in the background of my videos. It's the Castlevania II Simon's Quest. It didn't come framed, but I framed it just a few moments ago. It's the game box art, and I just wanted to show that. Not only because it's cool, and because I bought it at the Goonies Con, but it's also by Konami, which Konami, as you'll see, created the Goonies game that we're going to be playing in a few moments. And it's actually quite similar in some ways to Simon's Quest, which is Castlevania II. I also bought a Final Fantasy poster of the same Final Fantasy cover box art, so that's pretty cool to have too. In addition, there was a lot of freebies. It was sponsored by Dark Horse Comics, so I got this He-Man poster, and on the back there is a Zelda Hyrule Historia poster, which, as you'll see in the Goonies game, it shares some similarities to The Legend of Zelda 1 and 2 on the NES as well. This is an NES game. And by the way, guys, I gotta live out a little bit of my dream today. I did not expect it to work out as smoothly as I had dreamed it to happen, but guess what, guys? It did. So always remember, live your dreams out, because they really will and definitely can be possible. So what I did was, well, my little dream was I wanted to get my NES Goonies game, Goonies II, signed and autographed by the only actor that was there this year. 5 years ago, there was another Goonies celebration convention thing. It was more of a celebration then, with like a concert and stuff. There was a lot more actors there, including the directors. Sean Astin was there, who's probably he's the main character, but he's not always the fan favorite. And also, Sean Astin's really cool because he's in Lord of the Rings. He played Samwise Gamgee. Potato. But he wasn't here this year. The only actor that was here this year was a guy named Jeff Cohen, who you may know from the movie as Chunk. So basically, I met him. It was $25. I had to wait in line for like 2 hours almost. And it's a lot of fun. It was actually more fun than I expected waiting in line, because I met a guy who was the only other guy my age, and he was really into collecting action figures and stuff, so we talked quite a bit. But anyways, I'm going to show you some pictures of me meeting Jeff Cohen, which is pretty cool. And not only that, but I did live out my dream and get him to sign my copy of the Goonies 2. And yes, his handwriting may not be the best, but it's unique to him, and that is his actual handwriting on my game, which is pretty cool to have. It's the only real autograph thing that I own, so it's pretty cool to have that. I'm not going to sell it or really collect it just for having an autograph, but I just think it's really special and cool to have that. So he wrote my name on it. He wrote Truffle Shuffle, which is one thing that he's famous for in the movie, doing the Truffle Shuffle. It's kind of a meme, actually, even outside the movie itself. And they even had like a Truffle Shuffle contest where you do the little, like, the dance, basically. And, yeah, you do the Truffle Shuffle, and there was a competition for it, which is a little weird. There was a lot of weird things like that going on in the town over this week. Not only that, they changed the radio station name to the Goonies radio station, where they only played 80s music. They did a lot of things in the town this week, and it was kind of weird because it was like for one moment, everyone was like super obsessed with the Goonies, and it's still going on right now. And that's weird because it's a 30-year-old movie, and it's a kid's movie, but it's also a really great movie with a sense of adventure, a sense of exploration, sort of I don't know, it's a really great movie. It's set in the coastal town of Astoria, and also Cannon Beach, and it also it's basically like a pirate treasure hunt movie. It's really good, and I definitely recommend it if you're I recommend it for watching with your kids. I recommend it watching it by yourself too, and if you're an adult. And it's also, I don't know, it's just a really fun, adventurous little movie, and it's also gained a lot of cult status, and it's just a really fun movie. But yeah, it does have Jeff Cohen's signature on there as well, and he wrote Chunk, which is pretty cool. And remember when I was there, actually talking to him, I didn't really know what to say, and I was kind of nervous. So I was just like, "You're so cool," and then he was like, "Yeah," and it was pretty cool seeing him there. But he's a really cool guy. He's kind of like, he's not really an actor now, I don't think, so he hasn't been in very many roles. But he's also a pretty cool, pretty normal guy. So it was pretty cool meeting him, and I don't regret it. It was pretty cool. It was actually really awesome. So we're gonna be playing Goonies 2 on the NES. I'm gonna have a little bit different display on my video this time, so I'll try to keep up in my quick plays and kind of evolve on that as we go on. So that's pretty much all I needed to say. Anyways, I hope you enjoy watching me play the Goonies 2 on the NES. It's not going to be the best quick play, and we're not going to be able to beat the game that fast because I'm not really that good at it. But I just thought I'd do something for Goonies 30th anniversary and kind of share my thoughts and a little bit of views and stuff on the actual movie and the game itself. So let's get started with Let's Play Quick Play, The Goonies 2. Alright, let's do this. Hey you, Goonies! In revenge for putting us in jail, we've taken an Annie and as hostage. Come to our hideout if you want to help her. Classic NES text that goes by way too fast and way too broken up and hard to read out loud. Okay, let's start up. Konami's The Goonies 2 on the NES. This was made in 1987, which is 2 years after the original film, The Goonies. Now, there was never a Goonies 2 film, although it has been rumored for about 30 years. Ever since the first movie came out, there's been rumors of coming back for a sequel, especially in recent years, the last 5 years. Kind of like as movies are starting to get rebooted and remade and stuff. So there's been a lot of rumors for that, but I don't think anything's really concrete or set in stone yet. Okay, let's start this. Now, this is a quick play, so it's only going to be about 15 minutes. And, yeah, it's just going to be a quick play, and I'm probably not going to be able to beat it. I'm not that good at this game. I actually haven't even beaten it before. But we're going to explore and see what it's like playing Goonies 2 on the NES. And it should be a lot of fun. Let's do this. Now, you play as Mike, or Mikey, and you basically have a few moves. You can crouch, you can attack, you can crouch when you're attacking too, or you can attack when you're crouching too, and you can jump with the A button. Now, select as pause in this game, and start brings up your menu, which is sort of a Legend of Zelda style menu. This is a platforming adventure game, which means that it's sort of like Zelda 2, a little bit like Zelda 1 as well. You have different weapons in your inventory, like you have shoes and weapons. I'm not really sure what the shoes are for at this point, but weapons you can get like a slingshot later on, and different other items. You have the map there, and it's actually quite a big map, and it's a little hard to follow because the map is a little more three-dimensional, whereas the way that you're progressing through the game is most of the time a side-scroller, though there is some first-person perspective parts of the game. Let's get back into the action. Okay, so basically, there's little enemies, and you just have to fight them straightforward with your yo-yo or whatever you have for a weapon. You get more powerful weapons later on, such as a slingshot once again. Now see, I'm not entirely sure exactly where to go. That's one of the Fratellis, one of the bad guys, or one of the main bad guys. I believe they actually added in a third or fourth Fratelli sort of sibling, which are the antagonists or the bad guys from the movie, the original movie, but they added another character into it as well. Now the purpose of this game is actually to, you're Mikey by yourself and all the Goonies have been kidnapped, not just Annie, whoever that may be. And so at the intro cutscene it said they have to go save Annie, but you actually have to save all the Goonies, and that's the purpose of the game, is to find them within the levels. Let's take this item. You've got a hammer. Nothing here. Okay. Sort of has that Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest style where you have to click go and then you have to click hit and stuff like that instead of just, you know, moving around and pushing the A and B buttons like you would normally. This has sort of a similar style to the original Ninja Turtles on the NES, which is also a Konami game, by the way. And also kind of a little bit reminiscent of Simon's Quest in just a little ways. Here and there. Here and there. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's actually a really fun game. It's one of the few movie-based games, even though it's a movie that never came out, it's still pretty much just based on a movie. It's one of the few movie games that's actually really pretty good. In my opinion, it's one of the better movie games. And not just on the NES, but in general, a lot of movie games are not really that great, as many of you probably know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try to explore things that I don't normally explore in this game, because the way that I normally go doesn't really get me anywhere. So I'm actually going into rooms that I haven't really gone into too often. You've got a magic locator device, which I believe helps you locate the Goonies or items. I'm not entirely sure which, so we'll have to check that out. Oh, and you can use the hammer here. Okay, that's what the hammer's for. It's for the first-person areas, which is what we're at right now. It's kind of hard to tell that it's first-person, but you can actually walk around in it. Hammer. Oh, you can't go back. I see. So we can go forward, and it takes us to another platforming area, which is actually through the doorway. So it's a little weird perspective, kind of. And that kind of looks like a doorway too, but it's actually not. Let's head on up this ladder then. There's something else that I wanted to check back before I went in that door, so I might return to that in a little bit. Oh, some new bad guys. We got snakes. There is quite a few areas in this game. They're not all the same, you know, indoors area. There's a cave and there's like an ice cave later on. Yeah, there's a lot of variation in this game. Ah, here we go. Welcome here. This is a warp zone. Which I don't really understand what the warp zones are. So we're gonna go in here. I guess to the left there's nothing. And then let's go talk to this guy again. And I think that's where we came from. So sometimes you actually have to push down on the D-pad instead of up. It's kind of confusing. Maybe not. If you push down, see, it looks like you're in a room that you just entered, and it looks like there's a door in front of you and a door to the left. And then you would assume there's a door behind you, but there actually isn't in this case, so you have to push up to exit. So it's a little confusing. It's a little disorienting, actually. It's one of the things that they might have been able to do a little bit better if the game was made modern or made today or something like that. But it's not really that big of a flaw. And this music you're hearing is actually the 8-bit rendition of Cyndi Lauper's Goonies Are Good Enough song, so you might be familiar with that. It doesn't play it throughout the whole game, but it plays it during these sort of indoor building areas. Yeah, this is pretty cool. It's one of the first, I guess it's one of the first, like, video games to have, like, an actual song renditioned into the soundtrack. Because when you think about it, most video game songs were made exclusively for the game itself. And things like Legend of Zelda have since been like orchestrated and stuff like that, of course. But this was like before chiptune was popular and stuff like that. You know what I mean? This is like the original 8-bit remix. And I'm probably gonna die a few times. My health is really low right now. Just keep in mind I do have multiple lives and I can continue. I don't know if I can continue with the same file, but I can continue you know, start over and still kind of. So when you start over on this, you kind of have a memory of where you already been, so you can kind of do things a little bit differently, but also you already know where to go. So those birds are tough. And the platforming is a little weird when you're on these ledges too. It's not too bad. It's a little bit less fluid than Mario Bros, but it's not that bad at all. And here we got this. I don't know if we need a key or anything for this. Let's try hitting it with the hammer. Oh, you can actually move it around. That's pretty cool. It's like a cursor. Sometimes this game feels a little more like a PC game in some ways. Now, there was a Goonies 1 video game, but it was only in the arcades in the US. I think it came out on the NES in Japan. That's what I heard today when I was at the convention. So I'm not entirely sure about that one. But I know it's in the arcade. It's just called Goonies Versus, I think. Or The Goonies Versus. And it's a little different than this. I'm not sure how different it is, but I think it has less exploration and more platforming, but I could be wrong. I've only played it briefly at the arcade. There's an arcade nearby in Astoria, and it does have the Goonies game, which is pretty cool. It's actually in pretty good condition there too, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so far we haven't really found anything. Well, that was close. Oops. See, it's a little confusing. I pushed up there. You have to push down. There we go. I think this is where I wanted to go originally, and there was like a thing over here. That was close. So far I haven't picked up any health or anything like that, so my health is still quite low. I'm probably gonna die any second here. Let's go in there. Go on in. There we go. He wasn't going in. Ooh, we got it. We found it. I mean, we got the "You've got a slingshot." It is sort of like Zelda, but I think this actually had the slingshot before Zelda did. Okay, let's go forward. I'm in trouble without glasses. Do you have any? Sadly, I don't. No, I don't want to hammer him. Hammer time! Well, we got the slingshot, which you can actually select by pushing start, and you choose your weapon there. It's just a more powerful weapon, but it does take ammunition, which I believe you'll just pick up from enemies from now on. But even with the slingshot, it's not going to help us progress any further, so we still got to find a new path to go through, which is what always confuses me about this game. And I really want to be able to beat this without using a strategy guide or something like that. I mean, I'm assuming there is one available somewhere, or at least a walkthrough like on YouTube or something. But I don't know, it's a really fun game, but I want to be able to explore it on my own. But for so far, I have never had any real good luck with this game. It's so confusing, and it's like, I can do Castlevania, I can do Zelda 2, I can do multiple platformers and kind of get a certain percent through the game fairly easily and fairly quickly without really looking into it too much. Except for maybe like the first dungeon on Castlevania 2. That was pretty confusing with those invisible platforms. But, you know, this game really is kind of confusing, actually. They don't make it very straightforward. And there's a lot of side quests, or things that are like side quests, where you have to, like, find specific items and bring them to specific people. And it's just, it's a little confusing. Especially, like this game is targeted to kids, so I don't know. Let's go back in. Welcome here! This is a warp zone, which I don't really understand what that means. Does that just mean it's a transition? And now we're in the cave area, which is what I usually end up in. But at least this time I was able to pick up the slingshot prior to running into the cave area. There's a lot of scorpions here. Oh good, I can get up here. I wasn't sure if I could actually would be able to climb up to this door. And now we're in a dark room, which I believe you need some sort of lantern or a light, maybe even a candle. Oh, we're in the ice zone now. It's a little slick here, guys. Slippery slope. We're gonna explore the ice zone because this is a place that I don't usually get to this fast. Just because the game, once again, is pretty confusing. Oh noes! We got chili penguins. This was really hard to get through this ice all of a sudden. Just throws you into the ice zone. Oh, he pushed me off. Oh, I need that heart so bad. I'm probably not gonna be able to get it. Oh, I got it! The hearts heal you once again. Or I don't know if I said that because I haven't picked them up yet. But they do heal you. It's not like Castlevania where it's your ammo. Ouch! Yeah, I don't think I've ever been here in either a long time or I just haven't played this in a while. Let's see if I can traverse through this without getting the... Oh, that's a light now. I was gonna say, if I can make it through without the light or whatever I need. Ooh, what is that? You've got a boomerang! Another weapon that reminds you of Legend of Zelda. Of course, yeah, they had the boomerang in Zelda 1. Okay, let's go back and let's go in here. What is that? Looks like an ice hole. Maybe you get like a fishing rod or something later on. I'm Eskimo! There's nothing here! Well, thanks, Eskimo. What are you doing hiding in this box-shaped room? It's really weird. Really weird. We're gonna play for a little bit more, probably until I die, even though it'll go past 15 minutes. I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting your time, guys. Okay, so I guess that's appropriate. There's Eskimo living in the ice caves, I guess. It's a little weird, I guess. Perhaps even a little judgmental, but you know, it's just a video game, guys. Was that the Ice Climber? He looks so much like the Ice Climber from, you know, Ice Climbers. You know that one game on Nintendo that was in Smash Bros? Defeat these penguins and make our way out of this. There's the Ice Climbers again. It's Nana and Popo. See if I can make it out of here. Oh my god, it's a polar bear from Lost! Where am I? I think sometimes when you die, it teleports you to like a little bit further than where you were when you died, so it'll like kind of match up to where certain death spots are. It's kind of weird. Sometimes it puts you a little bit forward, sometimes it puts you a little bit backwards. I'm gonna switch out to the slingshot, because even though we have limited ammo, we well, we don't have that. And why is the boomerang so close to the slingshot on there? I almost didn't recognize that that was what it is. It almost looks like a shadow. Well, that's cool. See, I've never even seen the boomerang in this game before. Get into some new content here, guys, and wow, that was terrible. Well, that's it for Goonies 2. You'd better quit. Try it again. If yes, push start so you can continue. If not, push select. We're gonna push select, and I just want to point out that this game is a lot of fun. The Goonies is a lot of fun. I recommend this game on the NES. I also recommend watching the movie because there's a lot of people that haven't seen the movie. It's a cult classic once again. And it's a lot of fun to be a part of that sort of community of fans of the Goonies. That's about it, guys, for this quick play. If you want to see more of the Goonies 2, let me know in the comments below because I can work on my gameplay, improve a bit, and then come up with a better video of this and, you know, progress further in the game. If you have any other games on the NES that you'd like me to quick play, let me know that as well. Until next time, Happy Bird Games, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I am on Twitter, same name, Happy Bird Games. YouTube, Happy Bird Games. Twitch, Happy Bird Games, where I might live stream this soon. And Google Plus, Happy Bird Games once again. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching one more time. And until next time, Happy Bird Games. Oh!